I know everyone's business in my building, whether I want to or not.
And you know what, y'all, that could have just been a signal to Diddy to say that you don't understand. Because remember, what came back was I guess the foreman had to speak on behalf of the jurors to say, we believe somebody doesn't understand the instructions. And this is juror number 31.
You're right about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right about that.
Because I really believe that there's been some jury tampering. But, I mean, some of the stuff, yeah, I mean, there's just definitely, I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure, but there's already been signs. Even the juror that had to be replaced, I mean, he definitely wanted to be on the jury. Mel reminded me that he was a corrections officer. It is so easy to find him, right? And then his replacement, not even him, his replacement received an anonymous text that was like, "Are you juror number 6?" That is deep.
Hunting jurors down.
Yeah, at this point, now you're getting the jurors nervous. Like, how did you get my phone number?
Let's not forget the reason he is in jail in the first place. He didn't get fined is because of witness tampering.
Exactly.
Witness tampering.
Just like he was like, "Hey Mia, I know we haven't spoken." Well, remember he got his friend to contact Mia. "Hey Mia, this is Jay. I know we haven't spoken, but I was just wondering what you thought, what you've been up to." Then when she talks to Diddy, he's like, "Hey man, right? Could you help me refresh my memory? Because I just, I miss you. It's then the Jane, because this is consensual, right? I mean, I felt like everything we was doing, you wanted to do it too." She was just like, she was confused. She was like, "I thought I told him I didn't like it." And she was like, "Maybe I did." Hung up with him. She started going through her messages. She told him over and over and over again that she did not like the freak offs. I mean, she still did them, so the jury has the right to consider that action as consent. The judge told them that. I mean, he wasn't specific to that act, but he did say actions could convey consent.
He was also doing nice things for her, right? He was paying her rent. And who knows if he probably helped her out with things regarding her son and her. So, all of that by design to, buy her loyalty.
So very manipulative. And he still, he bought it. I mean, she's mad at him, but she ain't that mad.
It goes back and forth with me, right? He's definitely manipulative, but then these women were money hungry like a motherfucker, man. Like they really were.
Yeah, I know. Cassie was less so than Jane. Jane, I feel like Jane just went all out. I'm like, Jane, child. But Cassie,
Jane, let's go about her name. Daphne Joy.
Right, Daphne Joy.
The reason why Diddy's so mad.
I feel a little bit different about Cassie Gemini because she signed with him, so it was already his responsibility to take care of her. She was his product. So I just kind of feel like, I mean, she had no idea.
Black me, bro.
And I do sincerely believe this, that she had no idea that she was going to end up, that her job was going to be to do freak offs with him as his
girlfriend. I agree with you. I don't think she had any idea it was going to go that route.
You know what I mean?
But she had ample opportunity to pull away, which is weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was definitely a victim. There's no question about it, and a victim of abuse. No question about it. I just don't understand why she didn't completely pull back a lot sooner.
Because the structure of the music industry is a mess. Number one, everybody knows everybody. It's a very small industry, and if your goal is to be a music industry person, whether you're an artist or a worker, right? A person who produces and things like that. You are at the behest of these powerful people, and if you get on somebody's bad side, you might not have a career. And especially if you put your whole life into doing that particular thing, and they don't like you anymore, and they wanna screw you over. That's it. Your life is over. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go back to school, do something else. You gotta start from scratch. That's it. There's only one music industry. So yeah, man, it's kind of one of those things that unfortunately they were at the behest.
There are two types of in-between: those who serve God and those who do not serve God. Those who do not serve God are not wicked, but merely passionless, lacking a sense of self strong enough to ignite selfish desires or deeds. They keep the way of God by default, which is why they are said not to serve God at all. The true servant of God actively arouses love for God. This can be done in two ways. First, by immersing the intellect in the infinite spaciousness of God. Second, by arousing the passion for God resting within the right side of the heart. Both are ways of serving God, but only the way of immersion is called perfect service. These are the subnotes. When you return to your divine nature, Penemayut, you will see clearly and act godly. Malachi 3:18. Though Malachi is clearly talking about two types of people, the righteous who serve God and the wicked who do not, the Alter Rebbe takes the passage to refer to four kinds of people: the Zadok righteous, the Rasha wicked, the in-betweener who serves God, and the in-betweener who does not. They practice the mitzvot simply because it never occurs to them to be otherwise. Immersing the intellect in the infinite spaciousness, Gadlut, of the infinite Godhead, Ein Sof, induces a self-emptying ecstasy, Bittul Hayesh, that engulfs all form, Yesh. Even the Kelipat Nogah and the Sitra Achra, in the emptiness, Ein of God, the way of self-emptying ecstasy, is called perfect or complete because it leaves nothing untouched. The in-betweener who serves God is a passionate, feeling person who is troubled by the competing voices of the heart, who learns to honor the left side of selfishness by aligning it with the right side of godliness. The alignment comes about in three ways. Some for whom passions are weak conform their actions to the good by adhering strictly to the mitzvot, sacred commandments. This is the way of nefesh, the way of doing. Some for whom passions are stronger focus their attention on the heart's innate yearning for God, doing what is right as a lover seeks to please the beloved. This is the way of ruach, the way of feeling. Others for whom passions are strong but who find themselves drawn more to the mind than the heart set their mind to the contemplation of God's infinite spaciousness.
You take him off his point, and then he kind of veers to a whole different, point.
Serving God, and you will return and see the difference between the righteous and the wicked, between those who serve God. The perfect and the perfect are one perfect and not two. Nay, are none. Nothing is a secret key of this law. 61, the Jews call it. I call it 8, 80, 418. But they have the half. Unite thine art, so that all despair. A prophet is a fool with his one. Are not they the ox, and none by the book? Abrogate are all rituals, all ordeals, all words and signs. Rahu Hui hath taken his seat in the east at the equinox of the god.
Everybody knows that. We don't want to need that. But he his mother's house. He hasn't had a job in years. This is what he does for a living, is he records everybody's stuff. He's not funny. We're looking into him, and we've been complaining directly, and we're going to get him kicked off YouTube and kicked off Clubhouse. He lives, I think, in Rockland County, Illinois. We have his number. We know where he lives. We have his telephone number. He will eventually leave. But that's it. We're done with him. We will ignore him. But if anybody else wants to look into him and wants to complain either to YouTube or to Clubhouse, his little YouTube biography is up there on the top. Okay, enough. I won't talk about him anymore. Anyway, I will talk about my little scare yesterday. Two of my favorite living beings are in my PTR. And then this is Wimba and Napolka. And Wimba is, they're sisters. And they were the Canadian ambassador here in Burkina Faso and Ouagadougou took it as a stray cat very close to the beginning of us moving in. And it surprisingly was pregnant, and it had 7 kittens, and we took 2 of the 2 calico female kittens, and they've just been incredibly wonderful companions, especially for me, who's stuck here in the embassy all day. And we're getting ready to take them to New York. As we're leaving, we're going to be in New York starting October 1st. And all of the things you have to do to arrange to get animals transferred from Africa to the United States. And I don't know if anybody else has ever done that. I tell you, we'll have to talk to those who, I have a bunch of information. But yeah, we have a veterinarian. Veterinarian medicine here is not very sophisticated. And everybody knows that. We don't want to think that. But he is he's a magus. We care, Well, no, I know. But I just want to make sure that anybody who's listening to it on YouTube knows that he's a really horrible, awful human being. He claims to be a veteran. He's not a veteran. He's actually a
Just block. Oh man.
Workers are important, teachers are important, they're very important workers. They spend more time with our children than some of you spend with your own children. So that's important. Maybe some halls, because how long there's 12 children in school, right? Workers are important, teachers are important, they're very important workers. They spend more time with our children than some of you spend with your own children. So that's important. Maybe some halls, because how long there's 12 children in school, right? Workers are important, teachers are important, they're very important workers. They spend more time with our children than some of you spend with your own children. So that's important. Maybe some halls, because how long there's 12 children in school, right? Workers are important, teachers are important, they're very
I think this would be better state charges. This isn't to say that Diddy isn't a monster. Obviously, he is a piece of shit. Fuck that nigga. But, to use federal resources on this case,